You're listening to Glow On with Charla Story
and Jennifer Wilson. We're not just photographers. We're your trusty guides in the world of photography, business, and a bit of life wisdom. Every week, we'll be lighting up your feed with practical tips, inspiring stories, and a sprinkle of humor just to keep you smiling.
We've captured luxurious weddings, mentored talented students at Develop Academy, and navigated the ups and downs of the photography world to bring you insights and strategies that work. Whether you're looking to sharpen your skills, boost your business, or just hang out with two friends who get it, you're in the right place.
So grab your favorite beverage, get comfy,
and let's dive into another episode of Glow On. What time is it? Guess what time it is? What's going on in your life? What are you watching and reading and listening to? And what is your time consumed with?
The time is currently the time that I ruined Simone Biles' news.
It's the Olympics. It's the answer you were looking for. Olympics. What am I doing? Watching the Olympics. What are you listening to? The Olympics. What are you reading? Stats on the Olympians. For example, did you know that there's almost 600 American athletes in the Olympics?
Yes.
145 are from California.
Oh my God.
47 are from Florida and 45 are from Texas.
That's amazing. Did you see, I forget what the exact percent is, but up until 2 days ago, no individual man had won gold yet until 2 days ago. And
because it's a feminine phenomenon.
I know. And 70% of the medals the United States have won are from women.
Female. Yep. We're 50-50 on athletes entering, which is fantastic. And then,
Incredible.
a 70% women. Now, men have a lot more on the back end of, and we want it to be even. That's great. But we are always down for a feminine phenomenon.
Listen,
it's true.
We listen to that song almost every time we're in the car together. And Emmy, she loves it.
It's so good. It's so good.
I mean, we're not here to talk about Chapel Roan, but maybe we should have an episode about Chapel Roan because
I saw a TikTok that was like, Chapel Roan is the next generation's Lady Gaga, which was the next generation's Cyndi Lauper, which was the next generation's Madonna, which was the next generation's Cher. And I was like, yes, to all of the above. I think she has the most in common, in my opinion, with Cyndi Lauper. But that's... I would love to see them collaborate. Yeah, that is not today. I said Olympics.
I mean, but then we said feminine phenomenon too many times.
That's true.
The first
it's
time
like Beetlejuice. We said it 3 times.
So it's going to happen. Who's gonna arise out of my ground first? Is it going to be Chapel, Taylor, Kamala? Which woman?
Probably an Olympian. Stay focused.
Simone. Again, I'm very sorry that I assumed your Olympic live viewing.
Yeah, let's fill everybody
happening.
in. We're both obsessed with the Olympics. And Jen just texted me a photograph of results. And I said, damn it, Jen. She was like, the social media ruined this for me, but we could talk about it on the podcast. And I immediately looked at the photo and then was like, damn it, Jen, you ruined it for me. And guys, this is twice in the last 2 weeks.
Okay, It's my only Olympic ruining. I ruined a secret result at the Spy Museum in Washington, D.C. I mean,
you did. It still upset me. I was upset.
I know. And you know what's funny is as soon as I told you the result of the answer from the spy question, I knew that I had messed up. As soon as it left my body, I was like, she didn't want to know that information. But it was too late.
I was like, some time.
The answer to that is it lies within or whatever. And you're like, Jen, damn it.
Yeah. No.
Oh, my feet just hurt so bad. I think I was just so ready to go. I was like, maybe if I tell her the answer, I won't have to be here anymore. I don't know.
No. Wrong.
Well, I'm no Olympian, so it just is what it is. And I guess I'm not an Olympic secret keeper. I mean, I am.
No.
If you tell me it's a secret, I'm pretty good at it. But
I guess. I won't be finding out. I'll tell you that. Just kidding.
No, you're
I
the
won't be
least like
testing those waters.
yeah, that's fine. That's fair. Well, anyways, the
Okay, this is
picture
not what
that
they're here for. Yeah.
the picture that I texted you was of Rebecca Andrade winning gold, and they're all on the podium, and Suni and Simone are celebrating her. And Michael and I were discussing this last night about how when we were little, like the Russia America duel was so intense that like they wouldn't even make eye contact with each other.
Right. There was no
So
smiling, no
no.
celebrating. Yeah.
So to see this generation of athletes like finish a floor routine and come off and their competitors are greeting them with excitement and love, I was just like, the future is so bright because of this generation just approaching so many things with so much more love than what we were shown. Like, I guess my expectation was if that's your competition, you should be a dead, stone cold bitch to them based on what we saw in the Olympics. But Emmy and your kiddos are going to grow up watching these Olympians celebrate their opponents. And I think that's really beautiful.
I bet a lot of you are like, wait, did I sign on to the podcast I thought that I signed on? And yeah. Do you ever find yourself maybe watching the Olympics or a movie or behind the scenes of like maybe even a reality show and you're like, shoot, even sports. Go sports. And find yourself thinking, gosh, this is very similar to my industry. Like,
Yeah.
it really is, because we as wedding industry professionals, whether you're a florist or a photographer or a videographer or shoot catering, design, doesn't matter, planning, you're preparing for this event that is timed, can't be redone. And there's a lot of pressure on your shoulders to deliver the best you possibly can. And preparing for it is like conditioning for a sport. And then the actual wedding day is execution, like the Super Bowl, if you will.
Yep.
And so a lot of times I find myself watching these things and feeling so connected to it, because although we're not Olympians, like you mentioned, and we're not winning medals, we're doing something that has a lot in common with the Olympics.
Well, not to mention, too, with the dawn of social media and how much we share about our accolades and our achievements, and especially photographers like sharing, oh, you saw that I just did that wedding. Here's how excellent I was. It's kind of like a Simone, a Michael Phelps, these phenoms where you watch them and you expect greatness. You expect to be wowed. And I definitely feel like we feel that pressure of like, well, I have to do better than I did last time. Everyone's watching. It's just, it's wild. I think the thing that I love so much about the Olympics that I'm seeing more and more of in our industry and community is this aspect of teamwork and togetherness. And that, like, even though in a lot of ways what we do can be isolating because we all kind of work for ourselves, is that it doesn't have to be isolating and you don't have to live in that world on your own. So I think that's what I love so much about that picture is this this celebration of other. I mean, like, yes, I love watching the Olympians celebrate themselves too and their incredible achievements, but man, watching them celebrate each other, I think might be my favorite part.
Absolutely. It's definitely my favorite part. And, you know, conversations we've had in the past are, in a lot of ways, it felt like society wanted to pit women against each other. And we see so much like locker room camaraderie. It's so much better. But we see, you know, boys club, locker room camaraderie. We see men that go against each other in every possible way, from sports to business to even wanting to date the same woman, but maintaining friendships. Whereas women, you know, for many years, and especially before our time, we're just taught to not believe each other, to not trust each other. And the beauty of what we're witnessing among the female Olympians is nobody understands you the way that your number one competition does. Nobody knows what the pressure and the training and the toll on your body and the mental weight feels like, why would you not be friends with that person? Just because you're friendly and you celebrate them
Mhm.
doesn't mean that you're not going to put your best self out there. And wouldn't you rather win because you are actually better or
Right.
you had a better day? Like if you celebrate everyone else in your circle competing against you and they bested you, then they bested you and you can celebrate that. Or if you won, you can win knowing that you celebrated that they put their best foot forward. That's the best kind of win there is.
Right.
So you're right. Seeing the difference between 1993 and now, it's a perfect example of what it should look like in sports as well as in business. Like our industry is pretty female dominant. Um, and all of us have space here. So I think the big takeaway is like everybody says community over competition. What does it look like? Well, here is an example of what it actually looks like, celebrating somebody winning something that you also wanted.
Right. Well, and to see that it's attractive to the people who
Yeah.
are watching and paying attention. No one is like Simone celebrating Rebecca is weak. No one's
No.
saying that. And anyone who is wrong. Um So, yeah, I mean, it's like when you see these prestigious lists come out and your knee-jerk reaction might be, "Why not me?" Well,
Hmm.
why not go and congratulate the people you know and love that did make it? Or if your friend wins out on a lead you're both up for. Good.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm so glad someone got a lead and they were able to book it,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. I think I often out myself by talking about how maybe my biggest toxic trait. I love that this is the second toxic trait I'm going to bring up on a podcast. We've only had 3 episodes in. Get to know me. Um, is that I'm jealous. I'm a Scorpio. We're
Mhm.
born this way, but I at a very young age was able to like redirect my jealousy to be I don't want to take it from you. I just also want it. And I
Right.
was able to see like you can have a cupcake. I can also have a cupcake.
Right.
Seeing your cupcake doesn't make me want to like punch you in the face and take it and run away. It makes me want to figure out where you got one and get me one too. So if you if you do find yourself jealous, that's okay. You can be jealous. Let jealousy be a vehicle to motivate you to be able to earn what you also want and not necessarily taking from someone else.
Yeah, 100%. I think one of the other things that, really impacted me. Do we pause? You okay? What happened?
Atlas is screaming bloody murder. Do you not hear that?
No. Now I do.
Yeah, he's fine. I text Amy, the girl that cleans for me, and I said, just so you know, he's fine.
Oh my god.
He just doesn't want a nap. So, okay. Well, I am sorry. I just needed to make sure he was okay.
I mean, your face was, "We need to pause," but I know where I was.
Great.
The other thing that, like, really impacted me, and it's within the same vein, was, last night, all of the big swimmers were in the stands watching Fink break a world record and win gold, and it was cool to watch this individualized sport, unless you're doing an IM relay or, whatever. Um, all of the community showed up to be a part of that celebration too. And I think that there's a lot to be said about that because they weren't even the competitor. They're just his community and his people. And to it was just so beautiful to watch. I mean, Katie Ledecky was probably the most excited for him out of anybody that they showed. Maybe not out of everyone, but out of everyone that they showed,
Yeah.
she was. And she's one of the most decorated Olympians of our
Hmm.
time.
They
And so
trained
to
together in Florida,
right. And so
one on one a lot. So,
yeah, so this insular team really does become in a way like a family.
mhm.
And I think we are both so privileged to have a photography community, actually more than one,
Mhm.
that feel a whole lot more like family than friends and a whole lot more like friends than competition.
There's really nothing that can pull you down the way that feeling alone can
Mhm.
when you're in a place where you need to make decisions
Yeah.
confidently. And so that's why community over competition and real community is everything. And, you know, when you're really rooting for those around you, you'll start to notice some incredible impact on your own life,
Yeah.
as well as what your community as a whole can become capable of. Example, 10 years ago, I don't think that it was any of our brains, not even Jose's, in my opinion, that he might be able to pull $250,000 for a job, or
Yeah.
that um, huge celebrities would value wedding photography and be willing to pay big money for it because they were just photographed by magazines and they would
Right.
take that. Or, you know, John's been doing it for a hot minute, so I guess there was also John and Joe and a few other people. But for that to happen, to cheer him on and see him do that, he's just breaking glass ceilings. That makes it even more wild to imagine what
Right.
the rest of us have our fingertips close to being able to accomplish because the way is being paved. So community is really what will pull you out of the dredges. It will help you through depression. And I love that so many of our American Olympians that are winning gold are celebrating after overcoming some pretty intense
Yes.
adversity and obstacles.
Yeah.
Simone, I mean, she's 27 and
Right.
that's unheard of. She took a year off because she listened to her body. That's unheard of. She
And
got
mental health.
help. hmm Mental help, mental health help, and talks about it, and then came out and is beating 17-year-old gymnasts because
Yeah.
she was led to believe, and so many of us are. Listen to this, think about this, that you need to be in the gym every single day in order to care and put in the time and work.
Right.
And she took an entire year off for the first time in her life, celebrated being at her husband's football games and just being with friends and knowing what life felt like, for her to realize that she wants to win, but it's not the end all be all.
Right. It's
And
not everything. Well, and then you have
mhm,
Suni, who overcame 2 kidney diseases,
yep.
and it's just,
She
I mean,
gained like 50 pounds and then lost it and was
almost
able to train her
overnight.
body. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Almost overnight,
Yeah.
45 pounds as a collegiate and
Mhm.
world-class athlete, like, that's just, well, and then to be told, I mean, I've been betrayed by my body, and I know what that feels like intimately, but to mine was just like, "Your life is disrupted." Her entire career was also disrupted, and her
Mhm.
dreams, and that had to be soul-crushing. So for her to come back at this level is wild. And she's not an athlete, but if we really want to talk about the Olympics and an overcomer, I think we would be silly not to talk about Celine Dion, because the if it comes to Olympics and overcoming, Celine Dion, she blew away the entire world. This woman, uh, did you know everyone else's musical performance was recorded and she insisted that hers be live? And I don't know about you, the entire thing moved me to tears and goosebumps, but at the end, in her last stanza, when she did, like, she looked to the right and then she looked right at the camera with her hand out, it broke me in the most beautiful way to see her back after not
Mhm.
performing for 4 years and the things she has overcome. She is, give her a medal. Give her all the medals as far as I'm
She
concerned.
said that it was her goal to make it back to the Olympics, and of course, it was super special for it to be Paris. And I think, once again, community and a goal can pull
Mhm.
you through hell and help you
Yeah.
get to the other side. And another major takeaway from the Olympics that I think applies to business, other than like community and overcoming obstacles like mental health, or like Lyle's overcoming ADD or asthma, or things that, you know, make it feel like it's impossible. It gives you this goal and helps pull you through community, but also like self belief. And then
Mhm.
another major takeaway for business that I just constantly find myself is, we know about the adversity and the obstacles that the Olympians have overcome? Because they're sharing it. We have the
Right.
opportunity to
Yeah.
connect with them. And it's that reminder that your brand is being shopped. And in order for someone to want to know your brand and like your brand and trust your brand and want to invest in it, you have to be putting out ways for them to connect with you by telling them who you are. We
Mm.
wouldn't be celebrating
Yeah. I
Simone
mean,
and Lyles in this level without feeling connected and a part of their winning journey because we know what they've been through. It means more.
yeah. Well, and Clark Kent's name, I never know how to say it, but
Mhm.
Steven. I mean, he can't even he can't
I
even
know.
see well.
He thinks
Like
he's on the pummel.
like that man is almost certifiably
Mhm.
blind, and he's up there and he's like, "I can do it. I see with my hands." And it makes those accomplishments just that more impressive. And that's not to say that the people who haven't, you know, whose stories we haven't seen or heard, I'm sure there are plenty that haven't been shared with us, but they've been vocal about what they've gone through. It's not to say that people who haven't had struggles, that their accomplishments are not equally impressive. But I do feel emotionally obligated to connect with these individuals and their amount of hard work because of what they have shared. And it's this invitation. And I mean, you brought up Jose breaking glass ceilings, and I mean, he's
And Corbin.
hands down one of the hardest workers anyone will ever come across in their lifetime. So I fully believe that he would be breaking all of these things without the industry's support. But the fact that as a whole, the industry has decided we are going to champion
Mhm.
him. We're going to cheer him on. That is so much forward momentum and wind behind his, like the
I was
wind
like,
beneath
there you
his
go.
wings.
Been waiting for it.
I was gonna say behind his back, but I was like, nope, there's some Whitney somewhere. Um, I have to believe that his ascension through that glass ceiling was
Oh,
accelerated because of community
yeah.
support. And so I think it's really easy to be like, I wish that was me. Yeah,
You are our
same.
chosen
But
Olympian.
also
Go,
me?
Jose. We have slammed gold on you.
Oh,
Slammed. We have stamped gold on you. Go. You are our
legit though.
champion. Champion.
I the thing is I think that he knows that.
Yeah. And he's lovely and humble.
He does.
And man, even the commercials during the Olympics,
Oh my
they
god.
are making you feel something because a lot of them are basically showing you a window of a moment and what it looks like and what it
Yeah.
feels like. And then the end of it, they're just showing you a product that made that moment easier or helped it happen. And that's what we do. We are selling this moment in someone's life. And it's hard to explain
Mhm.
the real value so often for so many people because they don't understand their worth. They don't understand, yeah, you're the
Yeah.
gold medalist. You have been chosen to champion documentation of this day or presentation or taking their personalities and turning it into a design that's unique and within these certain confounds of budgets and whatever it may be. You should get a medal. That's some hard that's some hard stuff. And but when
Yeah.
you're talking about value and worth and you're wanting to understand how you can express it, you need to look at these commercials. You need to be expressing to your potential clients what impact on their life, sorry, and moments you will have by being there. Not what kind of photos you take or how long it takes you. It is such a perfect
Yeah.
example of it's not about what, but it's about how.
Mm. Yeah, it was the Eli Lilly, I forget, it was one of the health commercials that it wrecked me. The messaging was so on point, and I think that's perfect, and I mean, there's something to be said about that for advertisements most of the time, but especially centered around something about achievements and feelings like the Olympics, to pay close attention to the feelings that you're feeling. And do they resonate with your buyer type and the feelings you know they want to feel? Then pay close attention to how they're speaking about
Mm-hmm.
that product
Yeah.
100%. The biggest takeaway in our household that I think directly ties to what our lives look like is, you know, watching the Olympics with an 8-year-old has been such a
Mm.
treat because everything's
Mhm.
magical to her. And she just every time she's amazed, the only thing she can say is, "How?
Me too.
How?" And I get to tell her, "Hard
Mhm.
work, a lot of practice, never giving up, and then when you do give up, you show back up and you do it
Yeah.
again." And she's just like, I don't understand how is she flying like that?" And I was like, "Part of it is she was built for this dream that she has. And the other part is she's never stopped believing in herself and she shows up and she puts in hard work." And we are so similar. I think it especially, I mean, anyone with a job that they love to do that requires hard work can relate. But in a lot of ways, especially us who carry around cameras or floral or, whatever it is, our bodies are also being put through
Mhm.
the ringer every time we show up for a job. And it is not just an emotional yes to the dream when we show up to do work. It's also a physical yes to the dream. I'm still willing to chase my dream and put my body through
Yep.
this to have what I have always
Mhm.
wanted. And I just don't think that gets stated enough
I think
when we're
yeah.
talking about what we do.
I feel like I so much of our podcast is I feel like because that's what a podcast is about.
That is,
Um
yeah, talk about yourself.
or our thoughts. It,
Yep, mhm.
you're not expecting you like, okay, Jen, you're going to be a small business owner. Talk to me about what you're expecting that to look like. You're probably going to list work and tasks and maybe some length of time and some goals. You might not immediately be thinking that you need physical, emotional, and mental conditioning, that you
Yeah,
will be able to or need to be able to handle an immense amount of pressure that you mostly put on yourself, and then figure out how to
mhm,
manage the pressure you're putting on yourself, how to
yep,
stand out in a sea of sameness, how to have and create work that is both something someone can connect to, but that you're truly proud of and love, and then that you're going to be
mhm,
your own worst critic. And
yep,
your emotions will take up more of your time and energy than you could possibly imagine. It's just not on your bingo card. It's not what you're thinking. And
no. Well, and don't forget, add in there that we are given the incredible opportunity to be immensely involved in some of the most emotional
mhm,
moments of people's lives as photographers and as wedding photographers. I mean, from family to wedding to newborn to whatever, we are also being given the opportunity to meet these people with an incredible amount of understanding and love and professionalism. And sometimes that means that you're going to do some emotional work out too.
mhm.
It's just a lot. It
Oh, it
can
is a
be.
lot. It is so much. I had a wedding recently and she lost her brother, and the amount of ways that they found to
Mhm.
bring him into that day, because she lost him after getting engaged, like in the middle of wedding planning. So it's not even like it wasn't a long time
It's
ago. It was super
horrible.
fresh. And I guess he was like her best friend. Um, and they just honored him in so many really, really cool ways. And just being able to know that, of course, I'm photographing it, right? But anybody who knows me knows
Yeah,
that I also lost my brother. Fun fact,
yeah.
on August 5th. So this is the anniversary of his death today. And to know how important these little bitty things are without ever needing anyone to tell me. And it wasn't because they weren't obvious things. They were little
Yeah.
scufflings and hearings of. And if you know this one thing is important and you follow it around and hear the things being said about it, you'll learn other things that are important. But man, I have to emotionally check myself so often. I was
Yeah.
absolutely bawling. I think that there were times that I had to make eye contact with the team working for me and be like, you need to be on this because I need to take a second to look presentable. And I mean, that's
Yeah.
because I love what I do and I want to capture these memories for people, and it feels bigger than me. But it's funny, I'm I'm learning a lot about Africa lately because I'm headed there, and it turns out I need to get some binoculars. And I was giggling to myself because I was like, well, a lens is basically binoculars. And so we're watching people's lives through this set of binoculars, and we're all emotionally tied
Mhm.
to like it's a movie.
It's true though, and in a way we get to be the producer or the director of some of those moments that will forever live in their heart, and that is a huge responsibility emotionally.
Well, and
It
it's
just
that emotional connection that made the crowd be so massive to watch Simone. She quit
right,
last time. She
right,
was torn
right.
down and celebrated for that. And
Mhm.
to come back and have everybody proud of
Mm,
what you did and because there's winning and there's impact. We have so
right.
many winners and we love our winners. We love them.
Of course.
Mm. We but impact, she was like, I can take your disapproval and be quiet and just do the work and show you, or I can
Mhm.
tell you I
Yeah,
experienced this and this is why it was important. Like I could have died and I wasn't mentally well because I didn't realize that I needed to deal with some stuff that I thought wasn't a big deal. That's why
right.
so many people were going to go out of their way to see her win, because we need
Yeah,
to remember that the Jose's and the Corbins and the Simones, they're humans and they are doing just as much hard work as you, and their win is your win. And you want to be there to
yep.
celebrate them because you want to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I think the main commentary that we're hearing now is like, I just don't want the Olympics to be over. One, because it gives you something incredible to watch all day and it's a lot to celebrate and the emotions are fantastic, but maybe let this be the encouragement for when closing ceremonies happen, that you look for the moments in your own community where you can look to
Yeah.
celebrate somebody, as often as you can. But in that same
I
vein,
go into a post-Olympic depression.
yeah, I mean, I
I
get
do.
it. It's like post-apocalyptic.
Thanks so much for making me really laugh so that was documented, because I immediately got embarrassed by that laugh.
Well, your ringtone is one of the best laughs I've ever heard you give
Yeah,
me.
that's
You
true.
it's my favorite when you call me.
I forget about that because I've
I
only heard
should
it
play it.
once.
I'll have to play it on the
Yeah,
podcast
not
one day.
embarrassing at all. Um, I I'm really excited about our next episode because what I wanted to talk about with you is something you just mentioned, which is being a director. And so you kind of like got me really excited for our next
Oh,
chat. But
yes, I'm thrilled.
um you're an Olympian. You're a winner. You have the ability to have impact. When you're watching these things and you feel strangely connected and overly involved and emotional, understand it's because you have a career that's very similar in a lot of ways. And
Mhm.
what can you glean from watching the Olympics that makes you better at what you do?
When you started that sentence, you made eye contact with me, and I thought you were
I
talking
know.
right to me, and I was like, "Thanks."
I You are a winner, Jen.
You felt it. Thanks, I
And I did
appreciate
feel
it.
it. It was funny. I was like, "Oh, I need to get there faster." She
Oh.
thinks I'm
I was like, "Are you about to?" I thought you were posing me a question. So, Jen, you're an Olympian, you're a winner. What's next? And I was like, "I'm going to Disneyland."
That's also what the people want to know. What do you do? What is your celebration? Yeah.
Facts, facts. Well, we would be really silly not to talk about what we have a glow on for
Oh my
this week,
gosh. I
and
mean,
you're
I
going
guess
first.
this is the most boring because I bet you can guess. But my glow on is for the Olympics. Um, Probably, I guess if I had to pick, obviously Simone, but I think second to Simone, the men's gymnastics team winning
Yes.
bronze. Frederick Flips, Stephen, Brody, they all have beautiful stories that they told at the very beginning that were
Mhm,
very easy to connect with and very like
mhm.
personal. And we love to see hardworking men be vulnerable, just like
Yeah.
women and people. And but they haven't won a medal in like 16 years. They came together. They even like found a specialty person to do this one thing, which means they all had to be like, there's not a chance any of us will ever be this good. Let's go out of our way to find this one person to do this one job. And just that level of delegation in order to hit success. We could go into that too. But I think that that's what I have a Glowon for, because I was just so proud and so emotionally vested, and I'm just really happy for them. I wish they'd have won. I know Steven won, and that's fantastic, but I do wish that the boys would have won an all around, but I get it. They're out there. They're doing it.
Pommel horse messed them up because they're, and we didn't talk about this, but I just want to make sure everyone knows. Steven used to do all of the events, and then he wasn't finding the success that he wanted. And he was like, what's happening? And he decided, instead of trying to be a master of all, he was going to be a master of the one thing he was best at. And he gave all of his energy to pommel horse. And look at the man.
There is.
So it's incredible. Well, I mean, no surprise, my Glowon would also be for the Olympics. And I have like a little bonus one that I think is going to be my Glowon for next week, but I have to try them out first. But Suni Lee, I think she's taken over our household. At first it was Simone, and Emmy is still very team Simone, but she is equally as excited for Suni. And I think there's just something about her glow. It's unmatched. I just think she's so fantastic. I swam in high school, so swimming will always get it for me. My current Glowon is trying to convince my family that we are all going to save to go to the LA Olympics and go watch swimming in SoFi Stadium, because can you imagine?
Yes.
That thing holds like 80,000 people. I have to go. We should all go.
I wanted to go to Paris so bad.
That's what
we have a friend there. I'll be talking to her when she gets back.
Me too. Well, yeah, okay, yes, I know Ashley's there, obviously. I have another friend who went, and so I'm just like, I wish I would have done that.
I tried.
I'm so
it
jealous.
Was like a lottery ticket situation. It's actually really, really hard. Yes, it's very hard.
Okay, so I'm going to do all the research into how I can go in LA.
So she got like a ticket from a friend who had somebody who wasn't going to be able to make it, or they like reserve some seats for closer to time and have locals just like, be able to get reasonable situation, which is very nice. We appreciate that. We appreciate reality checks when it comes to tickets to things, but that's not for today. I completely love that. That's a good Glowon.
My potential potential bonus Glowon would be for the Blake Brown hair products. Blake Lively just released her hair products. I was able to get my hands on most of them, and I'm going to try them out this week. So I will let you know my thoughts and feelings, but the smells are absolutely divine. I feel like I am Blake Lively when I smell these hair products. So I'll keep you. I want to know though, in honor of Bucky, what would his Glowon be today?
So Bucky's my brother, you guys. He would like the Olympics, but he would definitely mostly make fun of me for it.
Okay.
He absolutely loved like pie and cookouts. Man, that's so funny because my dad passed August 1st and my brother passed August 5th. Obviously not the same years, but the first week of August is always hard. And with two little kids at home, I actually often don't know what freaking day it is. I just know like day of the week, not like the date. And so the other night I all of a sudden, and maybe I'm TMIing over here, but I put the kids to bed and I came and lay down on my bed just to get a breather, and I started crying so loud. I was wailing. I thought the whole house could hear it. I texted Jesse and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong, but I promise I'm okay. And then I just started having all these flashbacks about my dad and my brother. And then I looked at the date and I was like, this makes sense. So
they were reminding you.
I was like,
they were like,
I like to manifest a dream visit, So if I think about them a lot and really detailed, maybe I'll see them in my dreams, which feels so real. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you're right. I think based on, and you know what? He'd be the hottest 50-year-old walking the planet.
Yeah. My mom, beautiful. That's what it was. Then I expressed to my mom that I was missing my dad and my brother. And she mentioned that the last time she saw Atlas, that his curls reminded her of when she met my dad, because he was a Yankee and he had his baseball cap on with his curls sticking out of it, and Atlas had a hat on,
That's
and
so
I
cute.
just lost it.
Well,
I was like, oh,
yeah.
you're right. I didn't even think about that, because it's harder to think about what in your kids reminds you of a parent when it's been,
Yeah.
a decade or whatever, until you look, and you
Right.
can't even just look at photos or remembering, because I didn't see my dad with hair like that. My mom did. Anyway.
Right. Well, and I think they will continue to surprise you and pick up mannerisms that belong to no one that they've ever met before, because that's the crazy thing about
Genetics
genetics.
are
But I think
fascinating.
you're right. I think Bucky would be making fun of you for being so in love with it, because if there's anything I've learned from your stories about him, it's how much he
Yep.
loved to make fun of
Bucky
you.
would be making fun of me, and my dad would have the Olympics on all day, every day, and you would not be allowed to turn it off, even if he was asleep, napping. He'd instantly wake up and tell you he was watching that.
Well, you're being infused with greatness. I mean, yeah, leave it on. It's greatness by osmosis, as far as I'm concerned. I'm with your dad. Well, this has been our take on the Olympics, professional greatness,
roller coaster.
and walking through grief. We've taken you on a journey.
Wow.
And you are welcome for all the emotions that you did not come for, but got to experience anyways.
Wow.
And you already know, next week we're going to be talking about the role of being a director and what that looks like in our industry. And we're so excited. So we will see you there. Get up, go earn your own gold, and glow on.
Hey photographers, feeling overwhelmed doing it all on your own? That's why we created In the Glow, an exclusive community where you can thrive together. Join us to build meaningful relationships in a safe, fun, and honest environment. Access top-of-the-line education every week, share your dreams, wins, and setbacks with supportive peers, and track your goals with mentors eager to see you succeed. Doors to In the Glow open again at the end of August. Head to developacademy.com and search In the Glow to join the waitlist now. Don't miss this chance to be a part of this transformative community.